Hey guys, this is Amber from the Happy Caravan. I'm a mom of 10 kids and we live in New York City. And today we're going to make lamb korma. It is an Indian meal and we got it from a cookbook that we got from Costco a long time ago, but it's actually a really good recipe. So basically lamb korma is, I think the term korma, I learned this from Sarah at our Tribe of Mini. Her husband Solo is from Africa, and I guess they make a lot of curries there too. Korma basically means that you put nuts in there, and so the nut mixture. So I saw Solo make it with, which is her husband's name, with cashews, but we're gonna make it with almonds. So anyway, so this is how it goes. So Mark is taking the lamb and he's cutting off all the gristle. Now, some people said that it's not healthy to cut it off, but my kids are kind of picky, so it's a labor of cutting. And I guess for him, he says the best important thing is to have a sharp knife. Like if you don't have a sharp knife, it's really hard. So he's very professional about how he does it. We get our lamb from Costco, and one thing that's great about lamb is that it is like the things you have to pay extra for beef, it naturally is that. So it's like grass fed, and it's I think a little more natural, you know, than some of the really, you know, over farmed cows can be. And then also it's supposed to have a lot of zinc, and it just there's a lot of things health wise in lamb. So let me show you while he's cutting it. It takes a while to get all the stuff off. And then he cuts it into little chunks, basically. And we're gonna, and you know what, it has saffron, right?
Yeah, so it gets marinated in a yogurt and saffron marinade.
Yeah.
And that sits for about 2 hours, and then you're ready to start.
Sometimes if we're really on top of things, it sits overnight, but we're not always really on top of things. But so this is the book it came from. It's Indian Food and Folklore. I can put the recipe on the community tab too. It's not too complicated of a recipe, but yeah. So, but if you like Indian food, I definitely recommend this book. It's actually cool because it doesn't just have the recipes in there. It actually tells a bit of a story behind, you know, some of the things you see in India as far as the food goes. And you can find it used on, you know, a lot of used bookstores have it. And I found a used version of the Chinese version of this. Like there's a Chinese book for only $4. So you can find it. There's Moses wandering around. What are you doing, Mo? We have a wild house around here. So we're gonna take some, what we use is, for the marinade is, we just use this Greek yogurt.
Daddy said to put some milk in it too.
Oh, you put milk in it too?
Yeah, just to thin it out, because it's really supposed to be regular yogurt.
Oh, okay.
It needs to be thin so it can really coat the lamb.
Okay, so he actually thins it out a little bit because Greek yogurt is a little thicker than regular yogurt, so he thins it out with a little bit of milk. So now that he's gotten some of the extra fat and sinew off, he is cutting it into cubes. These are little cubed meat. This is what it looks like before he takes the stuff off. Mo's over there crying because he wants this little saffron jar. He loves little jars. But this is our Spanish saffron from, I hear you, Moses. This is our Spanish saffron from Trader Joe's. And it is a lot less expensive than a lot of other places. I know, I'm going to give you the jar. You're going to be so happy. Anyway, so this is what we do. We stick basically the whole jar in there. And then we put 2 tablespoons of boiling water, and it kind of turns into saffron tea. And that's what we use for the part of the marinade. but with the yogurt on the lamb. Okay, watch, she's gonna be so happy. There's your little saffron jar. Does that make you happy? Yes. And it smells good too, doesn't it? You like the cork, huh? Yeah. You like the jar and the cork. And saffron jars come with a free baby toy. The saffron jar. Yes. Okay, so this is the tricky part without burning yourself. So 2 tablespoons of that yellow color. It's amazing. I'm sure there's probably some good healthiness in there for you. 2 tablespoons of boiling water, and then we just kind of let it set and brew, and then we put that in the mixture. So Mark is finishing up cutting the lamb. It's all done now, and he's gonna put the yogurt in there. You actually show him your boo-boo, Mark. He cut his finger. He just sharpened the knife. So if you sharpen your knives, be really careful.
Put in some salt.
So she's actually adding a teaspoon of salt to the saffron mixture. And
Are you supposed to stir it, Daddy?
no, we probably should stir it. And then he puts the yogurt in there, and then it's just all beautiful. Color is amazing.
I've never seen him do this before.
Yeah, he usually does it at night. A little piano coziness action right there. Okay, so we're putting the yogurt mixture over the lamb. So here's the yogurt mixture. Stick it over the lamb and just kind of massage it into the lamb and just let it marinate either overnight or at least a couple hours.
So what you want to do is you want to mix all of the yogurt and the saffron together. You want to make sure that none of the meat is stuck and keeping the mixture from. Pour it in a larger bowl here. You just want to go ahead and grab it, just massage it in there.
Yeah, if you have clean hands, it's okay. Old-fashioned way. It's probably how they do it in India. At least old school.
Okay.
Beautiful. So marinate it for 2 hours, right?
Yeah. Really doesn't need any more than that.
Yeah. Hey guys, so our lamb has marinated for 2 solid hours, and now we're gonna make the rest of it. So take it away, Mark. So we've got garlic.
So we have.
Yeah, tell us
So
what we
we're
got.
doubling the recipe because we have at least twice the amount of lamb. So we've got, instead of 2 onions, 4 onions. We've got a good amount of ginger. They always say like a thumb-size piece, but that's about
2 of your thumbs. That's
yeah,
that's
about-
good.
Anyway, once
Ginger
I
is
chop
awesome.
it, it'll be
Whatever.
about 2 inches
Yeah.
worth of ginger, 4 chilies. I need another half cup of almonds, so
Okay.
I'm gonna grab that. And then we've got 6 garlic cloves.
Okay.
So with these, we just crush and take the skins off so we can roughly chop them and throw them in the food processor.
Okay.
Yummy.
Yummy, Mo, you excited? And then we usually make basmati rice and naan bread with this too.
So we're going to start with our basically a cup of almonds here, and what you want to do is grind them up into a fine powder. So this little handy dandy KitchenAid chopper / puree deal is pretty loud but handy. You don't want it too fine, you don't want flour, but at the same time you don't want big chunks, otherwise you'll be eating that once the curry is done, and that's no good. You can see it's starting to accumulate on the bottom here. Getting pretty close. Almost like a coarse cornmeal, or like medium coarse. So that's pretty good.
Oh, good.
Okay, set that aside. Okay, next we're going to chop up our garlic, which I've already taken the husks off of. We're going to stick this in the food processor, and we're going to make a onion paste that then receives the almonds, and that's kind of the base mixture that the lamb is going to get cooked in. Now we've got to chop the onions. I'll avoid my finger that I did in earlier with the lamb.
Yeah, you got a boo-boo already today. You don't need any more boo-boos.
And the only reason I'm going to chop these the way I am is just because we don't have a lot of room in the food processor, and since we're doubling the recipe, it kind of gets filled to the max. So got to make sure it all fits in there. It doesn't need to be fine, just a rough chop.
Chunky chop.
Will do. So for the double recipe, it's 4 large onions.
So these are the last 2 onions. Giving them a chop.
Yeah.
So while he's chopping those, I'll show you what's going on in the rest of the house. We've got Melody. I don't know what she's doing. Let's see. Moses is fussing. If you hear that a lot, I guess they're shopping for hair accessories. That's a good thing to do. And then, sorry, living room is messy. We're working on it. And then we've got Chloe reading. What are you reading? Little House on the Prairie. This is the first 4 years. Is that like Almanzo and
Yeah, it's
when they first get married? That's so cool. And what's Naomi doing? I think she's doing. Oh, she's doing Pirates of the Caribbean. So she's arranging a new arrangement for us. Thank you, Naomi. The kids watch movies and they get they get inspired, and while Naomi gets inspired, and she makes arrangements for us based on her inspiration. Hey, Moses. You like it, huh? Is that your little bed? Sometimes you sleep in there, huh? Just in the middle of the living room. Yeah, when you need a little break. Yes. Are you telling me the story? Yes. Yes. Yes, tell me that story. Oh, okay. Do you want to go in there? Do you want to go have a little nap? I didn't think so. No, probably not. Okay, so. And we got Enoch over here supervising.
We're going to jump into the peppers here.
Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, so he's doing the peppers now. And these are like,
Depends.
what kind of peppers are they? Serrano?
These are Serrano. I'm
Moses
not
is
sure.
trolling me. Moses, hold on.
I guarantee you they probably have 1,000 different
This
types
is what
of
Moses
peppers
does.
in
He
India.
leads me around like he pulls my skirt. Are you pulling my skirt, Moses? Yeah. Okay. Mommy's gonna hold you. Hold on. Let me put the camera down.
No, my eyes are getting hurt. This mommy.
So Mark is cutting the peppers, and so you were saying there's Serrano peppers.
Yeah, I think there's Serrano peppers. I mean, they've got to have 1,000 different types of peppers in India.
Wow, okay. Yeah, they smell really good.
These are, I'm not sure what the origin is. Mexico.
Probably, yeah. They taste good. Give it a little bit of spice. So are you taking all the seeds out?
Yeah, so you've got to de-seed them, rinse them off.
Does it say that in the recipe, or are you just supposed to know that?
Well, the heat is in the seed.
Okay.
So unless you want a really hot lamb korma, which our kids can't handle.
Yeah, our kids are not into.
Yeah, don't
Can I
do
have
that to
some of the
yourself.
seeds?
Now, I will say that if you're in Sri Lanka, we knew a really nice lady from Sri Lanka that was a really close family friend, and everything she made, she thought it was mild, but whenever she brought it over, it was just like, it was inedible. So
Well,
hot.
it's really spicy, but for
Yeah,
her it
very,
felt.
very spicy.
for her,
But
it
for her,
felt normal.
that was normal.
Yeah.
So.
It depends on how you grew up, I think, and you kind of, I think, acclimate your taste. Did you take our measuring spoons? Are you gonna help us cook, Moses? Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Daddy, can I try the seeds?
Might be spicy.
And that lady had some of the most authentic Indian food I've ever had.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
Before Daddy throws the seeds away.
Yeah.
Okay, so you actually rinsed off the peppers. Is that to get like the rest of the seed residue off?
Yeah, just get the
Did you have
seeds
one of
out.
the seeds, Enoch?
No, I had like 3.
Is it spicy?
You know, don't touch your eyes.
Wow, it's making me cough. Like just smelling it is making me cough. I think they are really spicy.
Huh?
Okay, so we're just going to roughly chop these and throw them in the mixture. You'll see they disappear quickly into a greenish white mixture.
The seeds really are spicy.
Sorry, you're watching.
Wait, where are the seeds?
You threw them away.
You're not gonna want to eat some. I had to.
So next we need our ginger. And for this, usually what I do is I just, if I'm going to use the little chunks, I'll save them, but I just give it a quick trim, and then a good peeler will quickly, well, there I am saying that, and it's taking forever.
Oh, it's doing okay. It's pretty fast. Ooh, it smells
looks
so
like
good.
apple.
Wow, that smells amazing.
Looks a lot like
So
apple.
fresh. The little mini chefs over here.
Mommy, it looks a
It
lot like apple.
does look like apple. Wow, that
hurts
was.
my lips.
It's wow. It makes your eyes water. It's so pungent. The ginger. Wow.
So we'll just take this little chunk.
Maybe onion. Yeah, it's probably a combination of the two because my eyes are like. Ooh.
Yeah, this one is really fragrant.
Probably means it's good. You know.
Okay, so we'll get rid of the rest of this. Pretty handy to have the trash down here.
Yeah, that's true. Except for when you're like someone standing in front of
Hey,
it, and then you
Mommy.
need to throw something away.
Hey,
It's like,
Mommy, just from
Maybe.
eating 3 seeds, it hurts my lips.
yeah, that's pretty What are you?
And
Okay,
I
you're not
washed
eating
my
seeds. You're
hands.
eating.
I washed my
almonds.
face.
Okay.
Give me a
So
little bit.
for the ginger, you just want to,
I didn't have
this you need to chop a little finer because the chunks are a little bit more elusive to cut up in the food processor. So I'm just going to give it a relatively coarse
It's
chop.
making my eyes water. So spicy smelling.
It's not making my It smells like the ginger lemon kombucha.
It does. Yeah, it's really strong.
It will make me water.
Yeah, you have to close one of your eyes.
Just take this, put this in there.
Making my eyes water.
So we're going to start.
Uh-oh. Moses is over there. Did you throw something, Moses?
We're going to start blending this up, and I'm just going to pour in a portion of the water.
Yeah, it has some water in it too.
So that was a cup of water since we doubled the recipe,
Okay.
but it's just to help everything get nicely blended together. I'm just looking for everything to combine nicely. sometimes it tells okay, now that we have a little
It's a nice
extra
color.
room,
It's pretty.
we'll throw in the almonds. Oops, wasn't supposed to happen.
That's okay. It's realistic cooking. It's not like the cooking shows where they go back and edit it. It's just how it really happens.
And so we've got that. Now we'll just get this to combine. Depending on how thick it is, we might not need all the water. You know, if the onions were juicy enough.
Never watched him cook this.
Yeah, it's interesting, huh? It's interesting how it comes together.
And so now we've got our onion almond paste, and I think there's enough liquid. I still have a half cup of water left.
Okay, so you're not going to put the rest?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's pretty liquidy.
Probably depends on how liquidy your onions and everything are.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got our mixture. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our spices together, and then we cook those in oil and get that working. And then this mixture goes in, then the lamb goes in, and coconut milk.
Okay.
So we've got coriander, and it's calling for 1.5 teaspoons, so that's three teaspoons.
Yeah, because we're doubling it basically.
And then cardamom, it asks for, let's say, 1/4 teaspoon, so we want half
Wow.
teaspoon. Yeah, it's pretty
It's not
chunky.
very much. It must be really powerful.
It's very, if you've ever had it, like
Cardamom?
if you took a little bit of this and put it on
It
your
smells
tongue,
so good. It reminds me of like
it
Christmas.
numbs, it'll numb your tongue.
It'll numb my tongue. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Pretty powerful.
Well, it reminds me of Christmas for some reason. It just smells really like joyful.
And then 1 teaspoon cinnamon. Nice fragrant smell.
That's beautiful.
And then we've got cumin, and for cumin we want another 3 teaspoons here. So. Okay. So now what we're going to do is take our ghee, and we need 4 tablespoons of this. This stuff is nice. I just found this the other day.
Okay.
It's grass-fed. It just has,
wow.
It's a lot more yellow than the normal ghee.
So ghee is basically clarified butter, so the milk solids are removed, right? So
Yes.
it's just the fat. So it
Yeah,
can
all the whey and
it can
all that
cook at a
stuff
much
is-
higher temperature. I think is basically because when butter burns,
Whatever's in there.
it's the milk solids I think that are burning, and this is basically the milk solids are gone. So you can heat it at a high temperature without it burning, basically.
Now this was in the fridge. That's why
In the
it's
fridge.
solid.
Okay, you know, I think actually, technically, you're supposed to be able to keep ghee not in the fridge, but
What are you doing?
we usually do just because, I don't know, we're neurotic.
I'm going to turn on the burner here, get this heat up. Come on now.
We have a... the stove doesn't quite turn on
That's
sometimes.
a little bit of a challenge. We'll have to-
Sometimes we have to actually use a lighter to... Oh, it worked. Yay, we have heat.
I just want to get the ghee melted. Okay, that's going to take a little bit. In the meantime, grab our spices, get that ready. And also,
Now, isn't there
More
coconut milk
mixture.
in this too? When does the coconut milk go in?
coconut milk's right here.
Okay.
So when you put the lamb in, you'll put the coconut milk in.
Okay, yeah, I knew there was something. I used to make this myself, but I didn't do as good of a job. Mark does a better job than me.
Now, once the onion mixture gets in, it gets messy. So It's time for an apron. Here.
Stand back. Yeah.
Unless you want to ruin your clothes, put an apron on. Trust me.
We found a nice and manly one. He looks good.
Yeah, no
No
lace or
floors. He
frills.
used to wear my floral apron. He's a trooper. Yeah, the kids prefer his cooking. He doesn't much. He's just more precise. I'm just kind of like, yeah, good enough. And he's like, he actually does it right.
Yeah, so now you can see the butter, how clear it is.
Yeah.
It's got that nice, beautiful golden color though, still,
Yeah, that's
which is
probably why I
completely
called it
different. The other stuff is like almost white.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now that that's up, you want a low heat. You don't want a really hot frying heat.
Because the spices will burn, right?
Yeah. Just want the oils to combine with the spices, and that smells so good.
It does. Oh wow, that smells so good. Almost smells like dessert because it's like cinnamon and cardamom.
Yeah, even the coriander has kind of a.
I think lamb lends itself to some of the sweeter spices. Honestly, it was kind of tastes good with it.
You want that to combine for a little bit. You can see it's kind of sizzling right now, which is okay. Let that sit for a couple of minutes here.
It smell good?
Turn this pan on here. Okay. So now we'll take our onion mixture and we'll get that in. Hear it frying in the oil there. That's in. It's a curry. It's all somewhat relative. I bet you the chefs in India just kind of grab the amount of spices they know taste good. Don't really necessarily measure it out.
Okay, so you're stirring it all together.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like much, but I promise you, it's really good.
Color from the spices is amazing.
Yeah. It smells so good too.
You just want to get it all combined, and you want to bring this up a little bit in heat. So I've got it just above medium right now. You want to heat this up for a while. And you can really smell the almonds in this mixture. Really good. Okay, so let that cook while I grab the lamb.
Spicy, yeah.
So here's the lamb. And if you can see the lamb has kind of absorbed a lot of the yogurt sauce, and the saffron is bled all over, which is really neat.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So it looks like it's coming up in temperature here. What we'll do is we'll just add the lamb with all of its yogurt sauce. Okay, you don't want to lose any of this. So what I do is I take some of the mixture and mix it in there.
Yeah, especially since saffron is kind of expensive. You want every last little look of it.
If you have one of these silicone spatulas, this works pretty well too. Every little drop it out. Okay, and now I'm just gonna mix this and make sure that all of the chunks of lamb are separated and nicely combined in the mixture.
Still a little grainy, but and the cilantro. When do we put the cilantro in there?
That's toward the end.
Towards the end, okay. There wasn't cilantro in the mixture?
What's that?
There was not cilantro in the stuff you blend up?
No.
Turn it back on.
So I'm just going to drop the temperature a little bit while it's cooking so that nothing burns. And we want to open up these coconut milk cans. That looks nice. And I'm just going to come over here and combine all of that. And so it's calling out for a cup, and there's
But we're doubling it, right? So do
yeah.
you
So
don't use it all?
there's a cup and a half in here. So basically, I'm ending up with a little extra left over. I let the coconut cream portion of that can go in there, so it's a little nicer. So now all of this mixes together. And that's basically it. And there's a little bit of cilantro that gets put in here for garnish.
And salt.
And yeah, you'll salt to taste, and at the very end it gets a teaspoon of sugar, I think.
Yeah, it does.
Something like
maybe,
that.
yeah. Let's see. It says.
I need some milk before.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it has some sugar in it. I forget how much sugar. Sugar and cilantro at the end.
So we're gonna let that come up to heat, and when we see it start to simmer and boil a little bit, then we'll reduce the heat and cover it.
Cool. So with the korma, we have naan bread, and we also have some basmati rice. So we'll show you how we make that. Well, no. I guess he's checking on the korma just to see how it's doing. We bring it to a boil first, right?
Yeah, it's still heating up.
So we
right
bring it
now.
to a boil, and then we can let it simmer, but it has to come to a boil first. Here's our
So-
basmati rice.
We've got royal basmati
Yeah.
from the foothills of the Himalayas.
We got it from
so-
Costco, though. We didn't go to the Himalayas.
From the other side of Harlem.
Yes.
So we're going to do 3 cups of basmati rice. And this meal is so filling that sometimes the kids eat when we have 3 cups. There's not enough rice, but the lamb korma itself, don't be deceived, is very, very filling.
Yeah, I think the combination of the lamb and then also the nuts in there and so forth, I think it definitely
Yeah.
kind of hits the spot.
So with the rice, we just
Moses
want,
is attacking me with a cup measure. You getting me? Oh, ow.
rinse it off. Get it.
Okay, hold on. Okay, Moses. You need some love in here. Oh, there you go. Okay.
So we're just going to rinse and drain the rice a couple of times here. And then it's 1 cup of rice to 1.5 cups of water.
Yeah. So yeah, this with white rice, that's the correct ratio.
And we are using the instant pot.
Yeah.
Makes everything quickly.
So do you use the rice setting on the Instant Pot or the high pressure setting?
Either one works. It's kind of weird. If you do your own setting, it's 5 minutes. But if you do the rice setting, it sets it at 13 minutes, but they both come out identical. So I don't know how that works. But anyway.
Well, it probably is cooking
Must be
it.
less heat or
Yeah,
something.
cooking at a different temperature or something. Just rinsing it a couple times. Over here, checking our oil. It's not quite bubbling yet, but you can tell it's about to bubble.
Oh, here.
You feeling warm? Are you going outside? Are you feeling warm? Aw, your mouth hurts from that pepper seed, huh?
Oh, there's a really weird bug
Where's the bug?
right there.
go right there. Oh, there's the bug.
Okay, now get inside quick. What? It might be a mix of a bee and a fly and
I don't think so.
a bunch of bugs and then and a million wasps.
Yeah.
So
Credit
we'll
to
stay
the
neat.
centipede on James and the giant bee.
It will actually turn giant. You just have to pick some grains of rice
Hey
cream.
Moses, you want to be in the video? Yeah. He's being feisty.
So 3 cups of rice is 4.5 cups of water.
4.5 cups of water, okay.
It will be the size of me. Yeah.
And then
No, it will
take
be the
that,
size of
put it
me.
in here.
When James was 4 years old, it was like as big. James was 6 when
So we're just going to put a glug of oil in there. And then salt. Basically half teaspoon of salt per cup of rice. So us will do 1 and we'll guess at about a half measure here. And then just seal it up. Make sure the pressure valve is shut. It's plugged in.
Ours is a little crumpled because this is the Instant Pot we used when we were in the trailer. And so it got jumbled about.
Took a few hits.
It did. I think it just rolled around in the trailer.
So if you're in a rush, just go ahead and use the pressure cooking setting. Take the keep warm off and just under high pressure bring it down to 5 minutes. And let it go.
Cool. What do you think, Mo?
The curd is starting to bubble
Oh,
up.
wow. Yeah, it's getting all bubbly.
So that just smells amazing. You can smell the scent of the peppers starting to come out as that's cooking. Okay, so it's getting pretty bubbly here. So what we're going to do is just give it a final stir, make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom.
I think it's got my spirit over here.
And then we're just going to turn this down to like the high-low setting, between medium, low, and low. Just cover it, let it simmer. And now we're going to chop some cilantro. And we don't want giant chunks of
Hold on.
cilantro.
Trying to get Mo again. He's throwing a fit over here. Oh, Mo. Oh. He's nonstop. If he's awake, he's full energy.
So we don't want giant chunks of cilantro here. So we're just going to give it like a medium chop. Little stems and all, that's fine.
It's like 8 months, right? About.
Oh, you're right. It is a teaspoon of sugar. I don't know what that does, but. So at the end, we put some cilantro and a teaspoon of sugar, which is
I'll just take this
kind
on
of
the
random.
side
But,
in there.
so it's ready. And it says you can have cilantro to garnish, so if you want, you can keep a few of the leaves to like make your plate pretty, but that's optional.
So the coriander seed and the cilantro have a lot of the same flavors. Obviously,
Is it
coriander is
coriander?
the seed from the cilantro
I
plant.
just newly learned that, and I'm 43, so.
Yeah, you've already got that mix in there.
So it's just a little extra green in there.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then we're gonna cook up the naan bread too. Okay. So I'm asking Mark how long we simmer it for. He's checking the recipe. Like you should. That's good. Proud of you, Mark.
So 25 minutes to prepare, hour to cook. So it should be simmering for about 45 minutes.
Okay. Good job. Okay, good job. So here's the naan. This is tandoori naan from Trader Joe's. But I think there's a lot of different companies that make naan nowadays, so you can find it a lot of times in grocery stores, I don't think you can make it yourself at home. I don't know, unless you have this like specific oven, but I'm not sure. Maybe someone's tried it. So this is the naan. It's actually frozen, if you feel it. And we just put it on a cookie sheet. And how long do we cook it for?
It takes about 10 or 12 minutes.
10 or 12 minutes.
Pretty
And
quick.
it comes out nice and hot and ready.
Yeah, it's just supposed to be hot and soft.
Yeah.
Not
frozen.
crispy or frozen.
Oh, yes.
And all you really need is just one pan here.
Yeah.
I don't know why I took 2 out.
Well, sometimes we get more, but it ends up being too much because the meal is already so rich.
You already have one? I don't think so.
Kids are over here making
I know I didn't,
grapefruit.
but
You making a grapefruit, Lena?
with no sugar because it's healthier that way.
Oh, is that sour? No. He's a little nervous about
He
it.
said he wanted it.
He like stole it onto my skirt.
He wanted it.
Okay, so we're gonna put some.
So we've got a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of salt. And then we'll see if we need any more. And then we've got to get the cilantro in there. So dump that in there.
And sometimes if the moisture, if it's too thin, then Mark will just kind of leave the lid off and let it cook a little longer. Let kind of a bit of it evaporate. Let me give it the chef's taste here.
Just want to make sure that there's enough salt in there. Needs probably another teaspoon.
Yeah, usually. Because there's no salt in any of the things that are in there. I think everything is pretty much salt-free.
Well, there is a teaspoon of salt in the yogurt and
that's
lamb.
right. Yes, that's right.
So we're going to give it a scant teaspoon here.
But there's no broth or anything that's naturally salty, so it's...
Yeah, that's it.
Good. The chef has spoken. So you're gonna put the. Are you gonna wait to put the cilantro leaves? Or are you gonna?
Right now.
Okay. Kind of interesting addition. So is the lamb actually cooked all the way and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all done. Lamb actually cooks very quickly.
Especially probably if it's
But
cut up
then-
like that.
You know, it just simmers for a while and kind of gathers the flavors.
So beautiful. It's the sort of thing that like you go to an Indian restaurant and
that's
spend
it.
$18 on, but for one plate. But I mean, it's probably about that much. Well, it's more than that because the lamb is expensive, the saffron's expensive. So probably in total, it's like a $40 expenditure. But I mean, it's our entire family. Try and feed 12 kids at a Indian restaurant for 40 bucks. It's not going to happen. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that on is done here.
Beautiful. Okay, so here is the finished product. We have our lamb korma and some naan bread over there. Girls are being silly. We got your bowl's looking good. Ooh, that looks good too, Melody. Beautiful, beautiful. So what's going on is our oldest kids, Josiah and Pearl, they're at, I think, Juilliard Christian Fellowship. I think it's probably the last meeting of the year, so they're probably having a party or something, right? Don't you think? I don't know. I'll have to ask them. So we don't have our biggest kids, but they'll probably come home after the party and want to eat too. So that's the way it is around here. You know, kids. So anyway, so this is Mark's. They're adults.
Yeah,
Big
for
kids.
Moses here.
That's for Moses. Ooh, wow. That's beautiful, Moses.
Here you go, buddy. Look. Ooh, just for you.
Do you like it?
No, it's kind of hot.
It's kind of hot, yeah. Like spicy hot or is temperature hot?
Temperature hot.
Temperature hot, okay.
That's why I was wondering if I could put it on the stove.
Yeah, don't burn your mouth. Naomi's still composing over there.
That will make everything up.
So this is my beautiful plate. So I've got the rice, and then
You have to get
korma, lamb. I don't know what parts the korma, but I think it's kind of
The whole thing.
the sauce, and then and the rice and the naan, and bon appetit. Happy eating.
Stop being so tricky.
Okay, so here it is. The taste. Hot. Good job, Barb. You have succeeded.
Hey, Mommy, can you take a video of me?
You want to take the video with you? Do you want to eat your food? Is it good?
Ever seen an imperial?
You like it, Moses? Even Moses likes it. Yeah, it's good stuff, huh, Moses?
Double frying will train the bait. Take off the salt. Before they let the imperial down.
What's that? The guy who did
I said not an officer like that.
That clean.
Right? I said that's why I said that.
No,
I
I'm
said,
cleaning this stuff.
Oh,
That's
it's good your bed has a little shelf.
I'm saying it's
Hey,
weird.
Daddy, don't clean up this stuff.
God, just go off and take off the telemeter. Like,
Mom,
I see him do it all the time.
You did!
Good job.
Yay! Go, you're being a silly.
Hey, Daddy.
Whoa, what's